got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something. That's why I ain't calling. Phone and progression is all that I wanted. The phone and affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems. I solve them. I run through them.
Welcome back to another episode of the Problems on Problems podcast. I am your host, Mike Santi, and this week I literally have no idea why I do these intros, but let's talk about this. We're nearing the end of January. We've only been talking about dating stuff for, I don't know, half the existence of this podcast. And I might as well burst your bubble in the sense that it should come as no surprise to you guys that your boy's single. Mainly because of the fact that I say things like, your boy. And I give off this vibe of, nah, I'm good. And so I know that I'm not looking for love anytime soon, but that doesn't mean you guys aren't. And on top of that, if you're in Charlotte, I got some bad news to you. Got bad news to you? I've got some bad news for you. In that Charlotte is the number 9 worst city in America for dating. And that is due to the fact that, let's see, what are the stats again? 59% of men are dissatisfied with the dating pool, and 71%, yeah, that's right, 71% of women are also dissatisfied, which I believe it, because if you heard any of the dating horror stories from last week's episode, why would you ever want to date? But when I was doing the research for this, I didn't really find anything that would give me a little bit more clarity in the idea of, hey, what's creating all this fuckery when it comes to dating. And I've got a couple theories, so that's what we're going to talk about this week. Mike's theories on why Charlotte is the number 9 worst city to date. Now, before you guys get all wound up, just know Mike loves Charlotte. Mike's not leaving anytime soon. But I do have a few ideas as to why dating is a little bit difficult. And it comes in, reason number 1, guys, it's a pandemic. I barely trusted you before. There was an infectious disease running rampant amongst, everybody in the globe except your boy. Knock on wood, thank God. Appreciate you. But during a pandemic, did you think dating was going to get any easier? If anything, just exponentially harder. Unless you were... I don't like that double entendre. English is hard today. If you were like a digital expert beforehand, cool. You got an edge, I guess, on the dating. At the end of the day, you still got to see people face to face, so it's a little bit difficult to do that. But on top of that, what do you want? What do you want from me? Do you want me to what am I supposed to do dating wise? Am I supposed to just Skype you? And I did remember that there were times where I did have Zoom dates, and golly, do I never want those again. But yeah, what are we going to do? Are we going to promenade around the square like the Duke of Hastings and all these other elitist... I guess that's what you do now? I literally have no idea. What would you do if you were going to date? Because people are dying out here, yo. People are dying. It's a pandemic. Let's say you forgot about all that stuff, especially in Charlotte. I've got one more theory as to why dating it just doesn't work. And it's predominantly because Charlotte is, I hate to say this, Charlotte is cliquey as fuck. Yeah, we're definitely going to get demonetized, as if I was making money off of this anyways. But Charlotte is super cliquey. And if you really need any proof of this, go out to a brewery, go out to do anything on a Saturday in Charlotte, and you will see all the little various cliques of people doing their little thing. You've got your South End bros. And South End bros, South End bros are progressive in the sense, why do I do these things? They're progressive, where for the majority of them, yes, they have very fuckboyish tendencies. They're normally found at Sycamore Brewery, Old Mech. They're there sometimes. QC Poorhouse. They really like to hang around South End, Uptown, things that are near the light rail or easily reachable via Lime scooter, Bird scooter, or like a $5 Uber. That way, when they buy a $10 Uber XL, they can flex on all you poor people. But yeah, these guys are out and about. You can normally spot them by the season. If it's fall or something like that, they'll probably be wearing a checkered shirt with a vest over it because, arms don't get tired because it's probably all you work out at the gym. When you go to the YMCA, you're probably just doing arms, my guy. That was a whole side tangent. I'm sorry, South End bros, because I love you, but we just need to do better. Outside of that, amongst the South End bros, you'll probably also find that a lot of them have finance jobs. They might work for banks, whether that be banks in this country or other competitors, ones that, commit fraud. But they're probably working for some type of financial firm, if you want to call it that. And on top of that, they're not interested in anything long term. So just don't stay away from South End bros if you're looking to date, mainly because they're not looking to date. They're looking for whatever happens tonight or tomorrow night. But yeah, they are very, very active on most dating apps. So just realize, if Mans is ready to settle down, he's probably not living in South End, unless he's got a house in South End, in which case your window is closing because that dude's got money and he does not have time for your problems. That's what you get. But on top of that, there is a female equivalent to the South End bro, and that is a basic brunch biddy. These women, I love them mainly because they are Instagram queens. They're, like I said, they're the female equivalent to a South End bro, except for the fact that they have more of their shit together. But let's not get anything like twisted or carried away or kind of lost in this glamour. These women quickly will go from sexy to sloppy as soon as they have one too many vodka cranberries at their favorite bar. It's mainly because they've probably started off the day with brunch, because these girls are pros at brunch. They're pros at Saturday brunch, Sunday brunch. It does not matter. Even if they're off during the week, they're going to find a spot to do brunch, as if that's a thing. They've already started drinking since probably noon. So by the time you see them at around like 5 p.m., something like that, date-ish time, they're blitzed. And they do not do well when they're blitzed. But on top of that, they roam in packs. These women, you can see them from like miles away. You can hear them from miles away. They're like the new age woo girl. The ones that just woo at everything. That's them. Except I would say they're probably a lot more fun. But again, I don't know if they're really about this dating life. They're close to it though. They're very close to it, because they're starting to get a little bit more tired of the South End bro, and they might start looking further outside the city. On top of all that, you've got your Noda hipsters. And these guys, I got love for all the artists and everything like that. And if you're truly an artist and you're in the Noda area, by all means, keep doing your thing. The Noda hipster is not any of those. The Noda hipster is this weird young person that feels that they have, let's call it this, they're artsy, they're eccentric, and they run off of 90% IPA beers, because for some reason they have this and I'm better than you air, combined with a tie to a Noda that used to exist that doesn't really exist, even though it's having some resurgence. But these guys are not part of that. They're not artists in any way, shape, or form. They all have day jobs and corporate jobs. They just act as though they don't do those things during the week. And I'm like, no, you're probably the weird person at work. And then you come out here on the weekends, and because you can tell me 17 different variations of hops, you're like, oh, I know things. You don't, because you're still single. How's that going for you? Just saying. With these guys, they're a little bit different from the basic brunch biddies, in the sense that the basic brunch biddies are normally located around like any rooftop bar in Charlotte, any rooftop bar or anything that's like Instagram worthy, whether it be, what I'm talking about, the Heart Wall in Charlotte, some other rooftop place, the Beer Garden. It's all the same thing. But the Noda hipsters don't leave Noda. So that's probably like tip number one. If you want to avoid that crowd, don't go there, because they're homebodies. They're homebodies to like a T. And if you ever catch them outside of NODA, they're really only going to go as far as Plaza Midwood. And then the entire time they're just going to talk shit about Plaza Midwood and how much better NODA is, when I don't actually think that's the case. But you know what? Call me well-rounded. I don't know. And lastly, and guys, these aren't all of the stereotypes. These aren't all the stereotypes in the Charlotte dating pool, and we can talk about those later. These are just my favorites, because lastly, we have the senior citizens. And this is really for it's tough saying this out loud, but this is for my over 40 crowd. The ones that go to places like Fairwood because it's fun. It's fun because the average age of everyone there was 26 until you and your friends decided to show up in your Yukon Denali SUV and drive around the block 17 times looking for parking. They're very out of place. As soon as they walk in, you know exactly who they are. And honestly, for those people, if you wanted something that was cool and family friendly, you would have had a better chance of going, I don't know, down to South Park with the single moms, or follow that ambulance that is probably taking you to your dating grave. Guys, don't do it. Just because you go to Triple C Brewing across from Suffolk Punch and down the road from Fairwood does not mean you're young. Just give in. Go to places that are more suited to your liking. All that to say, your boy's still single. He ain't gonna be doing anything crazy anytime soon. All that to say, date at your own peril. And with that, we move on to a break. We'll take a break, do that thing, come back, and wrap up the show.
P.O.P.
And we're back. So, let's just talk about this real quick. There's nothing to talk about real quick. In the sense that last week, we asked you... Did I even intro this? Hold on, let's run it back. The great debate. Duh. Last week, I asked you, because I don't know. It's just me here. Oh, and another thing, side note before we get into the great debate. Some of you made comments about my red eyes in the last episode. I don't mind your business. What you mean? I'm highly allergic to the seasons. And that's true. That's genuinely true. I'm allergic to the seasons like a mother. I've never been allergic to like pollen or anything like that, or even like changes in pressure until I moved down to North Carolina. And now the weather is here. The weather here is nowhere near consistent. If anything, like last week, 2 weeks ago, we were talking like 20-degree nights, maybe in the teens. This week has been 55. And rainy and foggy. Like, what's happening? My body can't handle this. It can't keep up with this. So let's just get it together, North Carolina. Let's figure it out as a team. That way your boy doesn't have to look like this when he's recording an episode. But I digress. The great debate. Last week we asked you guys, are traditional first dates overrated? And 70% of you said yes. I'm cool with that. I mean, you obviously know how I feel. There's already a video on it on like Instagram. There's probably a clip on it on the YouTube channel and stuff like that. I just think if you switched it up a little bit, not only do you stand out from everybody else that's just taking you to dinner and stuff like that, but it's also, I feel like it's less boring. It's less like structured. Like let's just chill. Let's be casual. I still want to be like, put my best foot forward and all that stuff, but let's take it easy. Take it easy. This week, what is my question this week? I have no. Oh yeah, that's what it is. This week, would you rather be single or in a relationship during the pandemic? And now for those of you people that are in couples, your answers are safe with me. I'm not going to tell anybody anything. You can answer honestly. Would you rather be single during this pandemic or would you rather be in a relationship? Yeah, let's take it to on my side, my opinion of this whole thing. I'd rather be single with a roommate, like a really good roommate that I'm like cool with and everything like that. For those of you that don't know, I live alone. It's just your boy and my multiple personalities living in this 1-bedroom apartment, which I'm totally okay with. But yeah, I could see how it would get lonely every once in a while. But then I could also see the other side of that. Like if you were in a relationship that you're literally just around this person all the time. Like all the time. You're working from home with this person. If you guys are doing that, gosh, who knows? But honestly, I don't think it's for me, mainly because like I just don't want to be in a relationship right now, which is also why I'm single. That's the real reason. But I would say I'd rather be single during a pandemic just because I got bigger things to worry about than finding love. People are dying out there, yo. But yeah, with that, we move over to our Friday follows. We'll wrap this show up with really probably the best Friday follows, because if you're trying to up your dating game, what better way to up that than to just start flexing on people? I mean, it's probably not the most sound advice, but start flexing on people. Get you a house. Get you some dogs or a dog. People love dogs. Guys love dogs. Girls love dogs. Most people love dogs. So yeah, up that or get a house. So first shout out is going to be Mike the Realtor. Killing the game in 2020. Doing bits. He will get you into the house that you deserve and want. My man will put in the hours. He'll put in the work to get you what you want. Make sure you go follow him at Mike the Realtor. I'll keep it all down here. And then if you want a dog too, we got hella rescues out here, like Pits and Giggles. Follow them at Pits and Giggles on Instagram. But yes, I'm very partial to pit bulls. And before you guys say some dumb shit in the comments or DM me some like, oh, they're dangerous. Respectfully, you heard it. Yeah. If you got a problem with pit bulls, like, what are you still dumb? Do you still do people drive you places, or do you know how to drive a car by this point in time? They're not that dangerous. Yes, they still are somewhat aggressive towards other dogs, but it's really about how you train them, blah, 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 blah. But yes, they've got the cutest dogs out there. Puppies, full grown. They're about it. But make sure you go follow them. And make sure if you're going to stay single, people, be happy being single. Don't do anything crazy. If you like dating, go date, but be careful because it's a pandemic. But that's the end of the show this week, guys. Make sure you go like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. At Problems on Problems Podcast, at Problems_pod on Twitter. And follow your boy, Mike Santy 18 on all social media. I'm still going to stay single, so please don't slide into my DMs like that. Don't. But like I always say, guys, if it's not a good time, hope it's a good story, and I will see you guys next week.